Our next guest says potentially strong data could put pressure on Lilly shares. For more, let's bring in Kessef Capital Managing Director Len Yaffee. Len, great to have you with us. Good to see you.
Thanks so much.
So we're expecting a couple of readouts on Maritide, Amgen's drug, Len. So what's the scenario here? The data is good, and what do you characterize as good, and what does that mean?
I think the key with Maritide, and this is part 2 of a phase 2 study, is what is the incidence, if we learn, of nausea and vomiting. The issue surrounding Maritide isn't so much the efficacy, but it's the side effect issue. And if we get some understanding of that, that could either make people feel more comfortable with the drug or make it less likely that the drug would be significant. My bigger concern with Maritide is that it's not slated to get FDA approval until 28 or 29. By then, Lilly will have 3 drugs on the market for obesity and 4 drugs in advanced clinical study. Novo, which I've just recently started to accumulate, will have 3 drugs on the market and at least 1 significant drug in advanced clinical study. So I think that even though Maritide could be very promising as a once-a-month drug, which would be an advance over the weekly drugs that we have now, and possibly even out to once every 3 months, giving the doses they're studying, the time when it's coming to market may leave it very little market share to gain.
So basically, the note that you shot out a couple weeks ago that caught my eyes is the premise that if the Maritide data were good by the end of the year, that you could see Lilly take a hit and Amgen gain. But that sounds like it's a very short-term sort of phenomenon, in that longer-term Lilly could still be in the driver's seat and potentially Novo could be the value play here.
Exactly. I totally agree. You know, Lilly, as you mentioned at the start, has gone up very significantly. When I established a price target 3 years ago, it was $1,100. And so it's there, and I'm very thankful for that. But it's going to be hard to get Lilly to move significantly higher from here in the short term. It might take time for estimates to increase and then to look out in later years' earnings for the stock to go up. So my concern was, if Maritide had favorable data associated with it, people at this valuation may look to take profits in Lilly, which has just been outstanding.
All right, Len, I know we talk about Lilly all the time. Amazing company. Trades at almost 35 times next year's numbers. They deserve a premium, but you're talking about them at 35 times, Bristol, Merck, 11, maybe 12 times. And I get there should be a disparity, but at what point is valuation a concern?
Great question. And my estimate for next year is $35 per share. So it's at about 31 times my estimate. And I talked with you folk several months ago that I felt we were undergoing a pharmaceutical research renaissance at a time when valuations were very low. And so that disparity needed to get resolved. It did with the stocks going up. So your point is well taken, that Merck has 30 drugs in phase 3. People, I think, underestimate its oncology pipeline. It is not going to be a significant player in obesity. Same with Bristol. So we're looking at a drug category this year that's going to be $20 billion in the U.S., going to, in my opinion, $150 billion by 2030. Those companies have great pipelines in other areas that are doing well, but not in this category that I've called the most transformative drug class of my career. And the reason, importantly, is not obesity per se. It's because these drugs, the incretins and the amylins, help prevent the morbidity, mortality, and costs associated with 7 of the most common chronic conditions in the U.S. And I'll just add that ICER, the Institute for Clinical Economic Research, a very highly regarded group that analyzes drug costs, just had a symposium 2 weeks ago where they said that Zepbound, which is much better than Wegovy, at its lower price that was recently proposed by President Trump, in addition to lifestyle management, was not only better than lifestyle management alone, but it was cost savings. So it's not just that you get a better quality of life, a longer life, but unlike any other category of drug I can think of, it actually saves the system money. I think that this drug category is tremendous.